Hello, Void. I'm surprised you're up this early, wherever you are. I'm doing a lot better, let me tell you. I'm doing very well this beautiful morning. Good morning, good evening, good night, good whatever, wherever you are. And we're back. We're reading the Trivium. This is picking up our daily series. I missed yesterday's hour read, so if I can hit 2 hours today, no promises, boom boom, that would be awesome. We're jumping in exactly where we left off. Got my little sunflower bookmark and a ruler on the back. I love that thing. And yeah, so we are jumping right into it. I will be trying my best to catch the live chats. We're doing these live book readings / annotations. So people will be talking to me in the live chat, and I'll be checking every 1 or 2 pages I read. So bear with me. We're jumping into it. The Barch. Already butchering it. Great start so far. The Barch. Amphibrach. And it's D-dum-D. D-I-D-U-M-D-I. The third place where emphasis can fall in a 3-syllable unit is in the center, where it's... I'm going to start saying close 0, open 0, close 0. This one is open 0, close 0, open 0. To form an amphibarch. Probably butchering that, and people are going to be laughing at me, but it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As in, imagine electron improper forbearance, and there's special emphasis or accent marks put over, like in the imagine, the accent marks put over the A. Electron, it's over the second E. Improper, it's over the O. Forbearance, it's over the E. Petunia, Petunia. I don't know what that is. Probably butchering it. And correctly, it's over the E. The first E. There's only one E incorrectly. Wow. Anyways, amphibarchs, along with anapests, pests, like a pest, anapests, Anapests, also form the basis for limericks. Cataclytic amphibarch D trimeter. Jesus Christ. And this is an example of a catalytic amphibarch D trimeter. D-dum-D. There was an old man from Peru who dreamed he was eating his shoe. He woke in the night with a terrible fright and found that his dream had come true. What a tongue twister. 4 amphibarchs gallop along as here in Dr. Seuss. If I ran the circus. Amphibarch trimeter D-dum-D. And now comes an act of enormous. No former performers performed this performance. Holy smokes. By the way, added you on Discord. Oh, bet. I think I accepted it just now, but if not, I'll check again. Amphibarchs are a common meter in Russian poetry, where the final syllable is often omitted, as here in Thomas Hardy's The Ruin Maid. Catalytic amphibarch tetrameter. D-dum-D. Oh, Malaya, my dear, this does everything crown. Who could have supposed I should meet you in town? Do people even talk like that? That's crazy. Anyway, this inversion of the amphibarch is the rare amphimacer. 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 Dude, I'm not going to remember all these amphis. Amphibarch, amphimacer, what was the other one? There was one more, but you get it. It's too many amphis. Dum-dee-dum. I'm already forgetting them. Amphimacer. Dum-dee-dum. It was the it's gonna bother me now if I don't find it, but we're gonna keep reading for time's sake. Is the rare Amphimacer, Dum Dee Dum. Amphimacer, Dum Dee Dum, from the Oak by Lord Tennyson. Tennson. Tennyson. Live the life, young and old, like yon oak, Wyn. Bright in spring, living gold. And there's a weird chart here with examples of foot length key rhythm examples for a mono bark with a length of 1 and a closed circle with a strong rhythm, big star beat whole. A mono macer. What was the other amphibarks? And a pest. That's what it was. Thank God. Mono macer with 1 length and an open circle with a weak rhythm is a, the, in, to, by. In binary, iamb, IAMB, with 2 lengths and a closed circle and an open circle and a closed circle with a rising rhythm is alive, become, control, a bird. That's one of them, by the way. A bird, comma, to seek. A binary torchy with 2 lengths, a closed circle and an open circle, and a falling rhythm is mustard, comma, pivot, comma, weaving, comma, find it. A binary spondy with 2 lengths and 2 closed circles and a emphatic rhythm. That's such a beautiful word. Emphatic. I've heard it before, but I can't tell you what it means. Like emphasis, one with a emphatic. I love saying it. Say it with me. Emphatic. I know I can't hear you, but say it with me. Emphatic. It's just beautiful. Examples are rainbow, comma, cuckoo, comma, love song. A binary pyrrhic with 2 lengths, 2 open circles, and a quiet rhythm is any, comma, into, comma, of, a, comma, in the. A ternary foot anapest with a length of 3, and the key is open circle, closed circle, with a rising rhythm is disagree, comma, incorrect, comma, violin. A ternary dactyl. I don't know why I say die, it's just dactyl. A ternary dactyl, the foot is the dactyl, with a length of 3, is a closed circle, 2 open circles. The rhythm is falling, and the examples are emphasis, emphasis, comma, flickering, comma, mockingbird. A ternary amphibark, the foot's the amphibark, the length is 3, the key is open circle, closed circle, open circle. The rhythm is galloping, and the examples are electron, comma, enchantment, comma, instance. We're like a quarter way done, guys. Bear with me. The ternary amphimacer, the foot's the amphimacer, the length is 3, the key is closed circle, open circle, closed circle. The rhythm's galloping, and the example is mistletoe, la-di-da, men at arms. Dude, hopefully one day I'll be able to look at a word and be like, oh, that's a ternary amphibark with a length of 3 and a key with a dot with a closed circle and 2 open circles and a rhythm of galloping. But I will. In what world will I need to know this? Maybe it will save my life one day. Let's try to learn it. Ternary Bacchius. The foot's the Bacchius. The length is 3. The key is open circle, closed dot. I'm going to say dot instead of circle. It seems quicker. Rhythm rising, and the example is abundance, abundance, comma, my heart aches. The ternary anti-Bacchius. Maybe that's how you say it, Bacchius, not whatever I said last time. Anti-Bacchius is the foot. The length is 3. The key is closed dot, open dot. The rhythm's falling, and the example is outsider with 2 accent marks, one over the O, one over the I. All of these examples have accent marks, so I just haven't been saying them. Get the book, page 129. Flat, and then the example is my heart aches. The ternary molossus, the foot's the molossus, length is 3, closed dot, closed dot, closed dot, rhythm is emphatic. And the example, there's one, it's bombardment. That's another cool word. I know what it means, but it's like cool to say it. Bombardment, bombastic. Give me bombastic. Ternary tribark. The foot's the tribark, the length is 3, the key is open dot, open dot, open dot, the rhythm's quiet. The example is anyway, comma, in and out, comma, into it. Okay, we're halfway done, a little bit more than that. The mono quaternary. Oh, no, it's not mono. We were just doing mono, binary, ternary, and now this is the quaternary, which means 4. And all these are 4 in length, so I can just stop saying that part because the length is now all going to be 4 from here on out. That's what quaternary means. Quaternary. Thank you. Quaternary. I'm an ignorant fool. Bless me. I would be so confused if you said that. Emphatic. I think that's what you were talking about. All right. Quaternary. Tetrabark is the foot. And the rhythm is quiet. The length is obviously 4. And it's open dot, open dot, open dot, open dot. And the example is inut yesis and comma incy wincy. What the hell? Incy wincy. Who talks like this? Quaternary primus paeon. We have the key as closed dot, open dot, open dot, open dot. The rhythm is galloping. Difficulties. Oh, I can see it galloping. Difficulties. Like you're riding a horse. Difficulties. Okay, we're continuing. Other examples, comma, are genuinely, comma, secularist. 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 The quaternary secundus, 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 paeon, and the paeon spelled Paeon. We're going to have a bunch more paeons coming after this. Length of 4, obviously, I don't know why I keep saying that. Open dot, closed dot, open dot, open dot, rhythm still galloping, abnormally, comma, comedian, comma, discovery. Those are the examples. A quaternary, see how we're getting faster, folks. A quaternary tertius, 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 paeon, with 4 rhythm is open dot, closed dot, open dot. The rhythm is emphatic, and it is, for examples, misunderstand, comma, undersubscribed, which is what I am. So click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Undersubscribed is a quaternary quatris paeon with an emphatic rhythm. One day I hope I'll be able to remember that for some reason. Oh man. Jeez Louise. I'm gonna actually highlight that because that's how I want to tell people how undersubscribed I am. Do you know what a quaternary quadratus paeon is with an emphatic rhythm? It's me. I'm undersubscribed. I'm a quaternary quatris paeon with an emphatic rhythm. Who's gonna talk like this? Okay. Quaternary major ionic. We're finally out of the paeons into the ionics with a major ionic. Closed dot, open dot, that's the key. The rhythm's falling. Pejorative, comma, preeminent, comma, professional. Those are the examples. Pejorative is spelled Tive. Okay, a minor ionic is open dot, closed dot. Rhythm is rising, and the example is with the love song, comma, and a crucis, Anacrusis is another cool word. Anacrusis. Ditrochi. A quaternary ditrochi with closed dot, open dot, closed dot, open dot, falling rhythm is examples of circulation, idiotic variation. A diam with two I's this time. A diam. D-I-I-A-M-B. If there's like a linguist or like a grammarian in the chat, they're probably cracking up right now, dude. Dying laughing. Or anyone who knows basic English. Diamb. Maybe I'm actually saying that right. Diamb. D-I-I-A-M-B. You try pronouncing it. Diamb. Okay. Open dot, close dot, open dot, close dot. Rhythm is rising. Leviathan, comma, buffoonery, comma, assiduous. Assiduous. A-S-S-I-D-U-O-U-S. Leviathan. Those are the examples, obviously. All right, almost done. Coordinary, coriam, C-H-O-R-I-A-M-B. Close dot, open dot, open dot, close dot. Rhythm galloping. We have murmuring, silk, comma, ode to the west. Ode to the west. What does ode mean? O-D-E? Clearly old-fashioned language. Ode to the west. Are we like going to the west somewhere? Ode to the west. All right. Those are the examples, obviously. The coordinary antipast. How many antis? Oh no, this is antipast, not amphipast. Okay. Antipast. Open dot, close dot, open dot. Rhythm is galloping. Examples are beside bottom, above cotton, or there's a comma in between. Beside bottom, comma, above cotton. And then we have the coordinary first epitret. And the open dot, close dot, close dot, close dot is the key. The rhythm is emphatic. And the examples are tomato soup, exclamation mark. Behold, King Bill, exclamation mark. First exclamation marks we're getting here, folks. I think. Yeah, it is. Okay. And then the coordinary second epitret. I hope I'm saying that right. It sounds like I am. E-P-I-T-R-I-T-E. Epitret. Close dot, open dot, close dot, close dot. The rhythm is rising. Choco, yum yum. Choco, C-H-O-C-O, with the accent mark over the O. Yum yum, accent mark over the U's. Comma, happy birthday. Interesting. The coordinary third epitret with a close dot, open dot, close dot, with the rhythm of galloping. Football inspires, comma, pick up that gun. And then the coordinary fourth epitret with a close dot, open dot, and the rhythm of falling. Example is childhood, sweetheart, comma, bathrobe falling. And then final one, guys. Thank God. Thank God. My brain hurts? Yeah, this book is confusing. We're on the poetry part. It gets more confusing when we get to the logic part. Just wait. We're still in grammar, folks. We're still in the most basic shit. This is insane. And yes, every idea about what what you're saying. Yeah, I know, dude. It's crazy. And then the coordinary despondi. I think the poetry part's the most confusing because who knows poetry? It's just, I don't know what any of this means, but we're going to try to learn what the ampibark is at least. Or the coordinary quadratus paeon. Remember, I'm a coordinary quadratus paeon with an emphatic rhythm. If you remember anything else, I'm a coordinary quartus, it's quartus. Coordinary quartus paeon with emphatic rhythm. That means I'm undersubscribed. All right. It means other things too, but whatever. Nonetheless. Last one. Coordinary despondi. Emphatic rhythm. The last examples are wigwam, wigwam sunshine. What is that? Wigwam sunshine. Wigwam sunshine. Who talks like that? And then baseball toothbrush. There's no comma in between there, by the way. Apparently there's something like a baseball toothbrush. Whatever. We're finally out of that section. Oh, God. Fuck. Okay, we're in the meter section. Son of a gun. Poetic feet combine to produce poetic meter. I'm about to search this up. That's that's how down bad I am. Dude, go for it, dude. Good luck to you. We've gone over feet, we've gone over the amphibark, we've gone over the dactyl, the anapest, we've gone over the torchy, the iamb, we've gone over this whole chapter, the spondy, the pyric, and the accentual syllabic, all under patterns in language and poetry section. So now we are on meter, dimeter, and trimeter. Poetic feet combine to produce poetic meter, and each meter has its own distinctive quality, melody, and musical meaning. Likewise, a subject, mood, or feeling may suggest an appropriate meter. In general, meters are formed from a single repeated foot, although some meters are combinations of different feet. Meters are named after the Greek number and type of foot of which they are comprised. Thus, with 1 foot per line, a poem is described as being in monometer. See examples on page 124 through 125. And with 2 feet per line, it is an example of a dimeter. And so on. Trimeter, quarter meter. Huh. That's easy to understand. And so on. Such simple meters are rare outside children's verse. However, lines of 3 feet, trimeter, are more common. Here is some iambic trimeter from William Blake's 1777 I Love the Jocund Dance, Jocund. Note the hypercatalectic syllable at the start of the 4th line. Iambic trimeter, D-dum, open dot, close dot, times 3. Open dot, close dot is in parentheses, times 3. I love the Jocund dance, the softly breathing song, where innocent eyes do glance, and where lips the maiden's tongue. And where lips the maiden's tongue. I give up trying to understand. Dude, once we get out of the poetry section, everything will be easier, I promise. Easier-ish. The waltzing quality of trimeter is doubly apparent in this poem by William Cowper, published in 1782. We don't even understand how these people talk anymore. This is like 1700s, dude. Like this is Old English. This is poetry, Old English, which is like, I don't understand this shit, but we're reading nonetheless, and hopefully we learn like cool words, I guess. Anapestic, anapestic, anapestic trimeter. This is what an anapestic trimeter is. D-dum, in parentheses we have open dot, close dot, times 3. I am out of human itty's reach, I-T-Y-S, I-T-Y apostrophe S, itty's reach. I must finish my journey alone. Never hear the sweet music of speech. I start at the sound of my own. You can't say that wasn't a beautiful poem. That was a beautiful poem. Oh my goodness. Highlighting that whole poem. All right, get ready, folks. I wonder why it's confusing. Yeah, seriously. Get ready. We're here with meter examples, and I will be faster this time. Okay, page 131. Meter, and the types of meters, we have a dimeter, trimeter, tetrameter, pentameter, hexameter, heptameter, and octameter. Okay, dimeter, there are 2. Okay, so the number is 2. So all 4 of these dimeters I'm about to read off to you, they're all 2 numbers. All right, the foot of the dimeter that we're starting with is a trochaic with a closed dot, open dot, times 2. Syllables are 4. Example is up the valleys, down the canyons. And those are 2 different examples, up the valley / down the canyons. The dimeter is with a foot of iambic with an open dot, closed dot times 2. Syllables are 4. And so to dream / how still the day. And then the dimeter with a foot of anapestic, anapaestic, with open dot, closed dot times 2. Syllables 6. From the center all sound / and all silence is found. The dimeter dactylic, dactylic, with a closed dot, open dot times 2 with 6 syllables. Examples are canon to right of them, and the other one is canon to left of them. Now we're on trimeters. There's 4 examples here. The trochaic, trochaic, is closed dot, open dot times 3, 6 syllables, and it is gliding close to heaven. And the other example is soaring over Devon, Devon, Devon apostrophe accent mark over the E. The trimeter iambic with an open dot, closed dot times 3 with 6 syllables. Examples are the only news I know and is bulletins all day. The trimeter anapestic with open dot, closed dot times 3 with 9 syllables is and I laugh to see them whirl and flee. Only one example there. Trimeter dactylic. We're just going to call it a dactylic. Oh god. Closed dot, open dot, turning and galloping wearily. And there's only one example there, dude. Not math. The thing I understand. I know, dude. It's so weird. Alright, we're on tetrameter. The trimeter we got through pretty quickly. Alright, the tetrameter, and this is number 4, by the way, folks, with a foot of torchaic, closed dot, open dot times 4, syllables are 8. By the shores of the Gitchi Gumi. Only one example from here on out, folks. Interesting. Maybe because the syllables are getting longer. And the tetrameter of the iambic with an open dot, closed dot times 4, 8 syllables. The example is, and bats went round in fragment skies. The tetrameter with a foot of anapestic, open dot, closed dot times 4 with 12 syllables. Example is the siren came down like a wolf on the fold. What the hell is a siren? Interesting. ASSYRIAN. The meter pentameter with number. We're on number 5 now. Pentameter, like Pentagon. He said Torkick, guys. He is Pokemon trainer. Oh god. Sitting, dude. I don't know what it's spelled. Is that how? No, it's spelled with an R. TR trochaic. TROCHAIC. Pentameter trochaic, with 10 syllables now. Example: sitting, singing quietly by the river. Pentameter iambic with open dot, closed dot times 5 with 10 syllables. Example: and summer's lease hath all too short a date. A pentameter anapestic with open dot, closed dot times 5, 15 syllables. Example: like the owl in the night who was thinking some mice might be nice. That's a cute one. I'm gonna highlight it. It was a little cute one. Pentameter dactylic with closed dot, open dot times 5, 15 syllables. Chorus, oh sing with the sun as she rises and shines on us. Nah, it's toric. Dude, I don't know how to pronounce it. Hexameter iambic with... Oh, did we do the hexameter trochaic yet? Holy, 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 all the saints adore thee. I don't think so. That one has 12 syllables and a closed dot, open dot times 6. Hexameter iambic with an open dot, closed dot times 6. 12 syllables. did now but freshly spring and silken blossoms bear. Hexameter anapestic with open dot, close dot times 6, 18 syllables, oh boy, as a sloop with a sweep of immaculate wings on her delicate spine. A hexameter with, and hexameters are 6 by the way, dactylic, close dot, open dot times 6, 18 syllables. Faint was the air with the odorous breath of Mongolia blossoming. Jeez. A heptameter, which is 7 by the way, that's the number. A trochaic heptameter with a closed dot and an open dot times 7, 14 syllables. Cursed be the stickly forms that err from honest nature. Heptameter iambic with open dot, closed dot times 7. We're almost done, folks. 14 syllables. Oh, some are fond of Spanish wine and some are fond of French. Heptameter anapestic with open dot, closed dot times 7. 21 syllables. Here we go. For the moon never beams without bringing my dreams, or me dreams, again, Old English. But for the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. I'm going to read that again. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabelle Lee. Okay, heptameter dactylic with closed dot, open dot, times 7, 21 syllables. Down in the valley, or should I say down in the valley of Avon, so peaceful, so perilous, waited young Willoughby. Last one, octometer, 4 examples. Number 8, octometer, trochaic, closed dot, open dot, times 8, 16 syllables. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer. Censer. Okay, octometer. I'm getting tired, folks. Octometer, iambic, open dot, closed dot, times 8, syllables, 16. My selfish heart, its veil now ripped, yet rhythm heals what broken strips. Octometer, anapestic, open dot, times 8, 24 syllables. Here we go. As a pinnacle carven and gilded of men, for the date of its doom is no more than an hour's. I wish it rhymed more. It would have been sounding so much cooler if it rhymed. Octometer, dactylic, closed dot, open dot, last one, baby, times 8, 24 syllables. Here is a wonderful, cumbersome spectacle struggling to prove it is credibly possible. It sounds like the story of my life. We're done. Not done the reading, but done that page. Jesus Christ. What time are we at? We're halfway done. A little bit more than halfway. By the way, did you add me on PS? I don't think I did. What's your username again? Type it again. I'll make sure to do that at the end of this. Alright, we're on a tetrameter, dude. I thought we already went over tetrameters. Thank God there's no more examples like that, dude. It looks like we're just reading from here on out. It's so much. Tetrameter, 4 foot. I'm so sick of poetry. Lines of 4 feet are known as tetrameters. Greek tetra is 4. I didn't know that. These often alternate with lines of trimeters and paired lines adding to form ballads. Heptameters as an example for Macaulay's Lays of Ancient Rome. Lays like Lays. Iambic tetrameter / trimeter, dedum, open dot, closed dot, in parentheses, times 4 divided by 3, or 4/3, whatever that means. The example, not like we read before, but this is the example of iambic tetrameter / trimeter. Then out spake brave Horatius, the captain of the gate. To every man upon this earth death cometh soon or late. I will say I'm not going to be playing any PlayStation. Oh, you retracted the message? Okay, you sent it via Discord. I won't be playing anytime soon. I got to finish this book, and then I'll be playing more games. I promise. But we're doing a chapter a day, or an hour a day. We'll be over and done with it before you know it. We're already like almost halfway done, a little over a third done, and I've only been doing it for 6 hours. So we're getting it. We're making progress, folks. Nonetheless, we're almost done this poetry section, and then we can get into the things people can actually understand. We're almost here. Shout out if you're a poet in the chat. All right, we have already seen examples of trochaic, anapestic, dactylic, anapestic, and amphibrachyic species of tetrameters, pages 124 through 128. But here is another, if there wasn't any more, goddamn, here is another interesting variety from Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by Lennon. Lennon? Am I John Lennon? Yes. By Lennon and McCartney, whose elongated trees and skies almost put it in the category of essential verse. Accentual. Yeah, essential. Dactylic trimeter. Dumb ditty. Close dot, open dot, in parentheses times 4. Picture yourself in a boat on a river with tangerine trees and I don't know how the rhythm goes. It's been a while since I heard the song. Marmalade skies. Somebody calls you. You answer quite slowly. A girl with kaleidoscope eyes. I forget how the beat goes, but sorry. I tried. Longer feet, see page 129, can create great rhythms. Here is a contemporary poet, Julia Donaldson, with the first 2 lines from Tyrannosaurus Drip. Sounds like a gangster dinosaur. Tyrannosaurus Drip. All right. This is a Tertius Paeonic tetrameter. Let's try to read this without butchering it. In a swamp beside a river, where the land was thick with veg, lived a herd of duck-billed dinosaurs who roamed the water's edge. That wasn't too bad. We are on pentameter. Please tell me this is the last one. Nope, we have hexameter, we have heptameter and octameter next, and then we have Kaiser, and then stop and jab, and then we have, fuck me, substitution, more complex rhythms, oh my fucking god, rhyme, oh my god, the stanza, blank verse, couplets and triplets, son of a bitch, the ballad, oh, why did they put the ballad so far? I'm reading ballad, I don't even know what it means. 4 quatrains. Why is poetry so long? Quintains, sestes. I'm butchering all these names, by the way. Septets, octaves, and nines. Septiets. I don't know why I'm going so ahead. I just want to see how depressing I'm gonna get. The sonnet. Jesus Christ. Villanelle. Pantome. Ballad. Triolet. And Rendezvous. I don't even know how to pronounce these. Sestian, dude, is half the whole book poetry? Canzone, the Sapphic odes and elegies, Celtic verse, Anglo-Saxon verse, Ghazal, Tanka, and haiku, poetic devices. Dude. Poetry is such a big part of this book. And then book 4 starts after all of that. I just got so depressing. Maybe I need to pay more attention to poetry because clearly it's important, but my mouth and like saying words is like blah, 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 blah. I don't even know how to pronounce half of this, but we're gonna try anyway. All right, we can do this. Pentameter, 5 feet. 5 feet make a line of a pentameter, and 5 iambs from iambic pentameter, the beating heart of most traditional English metrical poetry since the 14th century. This is measured meter, the heroic line of English verse from Chaucer, 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 Chaucer in Shakespeare, to the present used to translate the epic dactylic hexameter of Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, and Virgil's Aeneid, 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 into English. Take these two lines from Shakespeare's Sonnet 18, iambic pentameter. Rough winds do shake the darling's buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Examples of trochaic pentameter are very rare, so instead let's run into another popular meter from classical Greek and Latin poetry, the dactylic pentameter. This line was made of 2 equal parts, each consisting of 2 dactyls and a stressed half foot, the number of feet summing to 5 in total, and with the first half foot always ending a word to produce a... Oh god, this is exhausting. It's because I don't really have interest in this, but I know I need to know it, because one day I will like poetry, I guess, when I'm old and boring. To produce a caesura. See page 136. Classical quantitative meters do not translate well into English. See page 121. But here is an attempt at the form in English, essential syllabic style. What is the point? This is a dactylic pentameter, by the way. Of you, sir, said the king, almost violently. Why are there stars in the sky? Then he laughed and stood silently. That was kind of beautiful. In the Elegiac, Elegiac, couplet, see page 165. A line of dactylic pentameter follows a line of dactylic hexameter. Ovid's Amours, a collection of erotic poems about love, being with Cupid stealing a metrical foot from Ovid's epic hexameter, turning it into a pentameter to create a compound form. Ovid's Amours, collection of erotic poems about love. I'm gonna have to check those out. But we are continuing to page 135. One more page closer to not reading poetry anymore. The hexameter, the 6-footer, 6 iambic feet produce a hypnotic line. Iambic hexameter, also known as an Alexandrine, 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 which tends to divide itself in half. Here is a sample from Michael Drayton's 15,000 line epic Olbion, 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 published in 1612. I thought 1700s were bad, now we're hitting the 1600s. Consider quoth this nymph, the times nymph, N-Y-M-P-H, nymph, the times be curious now, and know nothing, or nothing, of what of that kind will any way allow. The more they her persuade, the more she doth persist. Let them say what they will, she will do what she lists. I would hate to be born in the 1600s, man. Fuck that. The classical quantitative meter, sorry for my language for all the kids watching, is the 6-foot dactylic hexameter. In Homer's epic poems, any of the first 4 dactyls can be substituted with spondees, while the 6th foot is a spondee or trochee. The Horchie, dude. The Pokemon. The Greek form was approximated in English by Henry W. Longfellow. Oh, that's an interesting last name. Longfellow. I wonder what he was. Never mind. In his 1847 poem, Evangeline, notice his substitutions and final spondees. The dactylic hexameter, dum-dum with a closed dot, open dot, in parentheses times 6, is... This is the Forest Primeval. 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 The Primeval. I wonder what that means. The murmuring pines and the hemlocks bearded with moss, and in garments green, indistinct in the twilight stand like druids of old with voices sad and prophetic. Prophetic. Stand like harpers, hoar with Hoar, hoar with beards that rest of their bosoms. Anapestic hexameter has a lovely galloping quality. W.B. Yeats used it for Book 3 of his epic wanderings of... Big yawn. We only got like 13 minutes left here, folks. But I'm going to try to read hour 2 later today, since I missed yesterday. Wanderings of Ozen, first published in 1889. Anapestic hexameter, diddy-dum, open dot, close dot, in parentheses times 6. Example is, and there at the foot of the mountain, 2 carried a sack full of sand, leaning down from the gem studded saddle. I flung it 5 years with my hand. And it's so hard to read those sometimes because they break up the words so weird. Like one word like mountain will have a slash through it to break up the syllables. Heptameter and octameter, 7 and 8 feet. 7 feet from lines of exciting heptameter. These can often be divided into 1 part trimeter and 1 part tetrameter. Emily Dickinson, 1838 through 1886, often use iambic hexameter with ballad stanzas. Iambic hexameter, dedum, open dot, close dot, in parentheses times 7. Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immortality. That's so beautiful. 7s and 3s often go well together, and here are 2 anapestic lines from Lewis Carroll's The Hunting of the Snark, published in 1876. Anapestic heptameter, diddy-dum. Might as well be a sleep stream, dude, seriously. Well, pretty much it's like 5 a.m. where I am. Oh, don't worry. Poetry, I feel like, is going to be the worst part of this book, and then it's just going to get better and more understandable from here. I need to believe that, because this is going to be hell. But I feel like I'm learning some cool words, so this is cool in that sense. 7s and 3s often go well together, and here are 2 anapestic lines from Lewis Carroll's The Hunting of the Snark, published in 1876. And there are some pretty cool poems in here. Here's a poem of anapestic heptameter, diddy-dum, open dot, close dot, in parentheses times 7. He remarked to me then, said the mildest of men, if your snark be a snark that is right, fetch it home. By all means, you may serve it with greens, and it's handy for striking a light. 8 feet form a octameter in Edgar Allan Poe's 1845 poem, The Raven. The first line be cut in half to form double tetrameter, whilst the second line is true octameter, with a few dactylic substitutions. Trochaic octameter. Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. Combining 8 anapests produce a very long line, as in this example from Algernon Charles Swinburne's 1887 poem, March and Ode. Anapestic octameter, diddy dum, 0, 0, or open dot, close dot, in parentheses times 8. Ere frost flower and snow blossom faded and fell, and the splendor of winter had passed out of sight. The ways of the woodlands were fairy and stranger than dreams that fulfill us in sleep with delight. Thank God. One more page closer to being done with poetry. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Caesura. Imagine if that's actually how you pronounce it. Caesura. Caesura. Take a breath. I'm not going to say no to that. Caesura. Keyword, some. Yeah. Big keyword there. Caesura. A break or audible pause in the flow of a line is called a caesura. From the Latin cadere, caedere, to cut. Caesura can vary or support poetic rhythm and create expressive contrasts. I think I'm actually going to remember this one. Caesura. Take a breath. Easy to remember. Create expressive contrasts, both metrical and rhetorical, often marked with punctuation. They are like breath pause between musical phrases. A caesura near the beginning of a line is termed, Termed, termed initial. Near the middle is medial, and near the end is terminal. In the extracts below from Paradise Lost, John Milton, 1608 through 74, makes flexible use of initial and terminal. Caesare is based on JIK. Really? By the way, working on a new project on Roblox. Okay. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Caesare. Initial and terminal caesare. In iambic pentameter, D dum. Seasons return, but not to me returns. Day or the sweet approach of even or morn. Go in thy native innocence, rely. On what thou hast of virtue, summon all. What a headache that poem was. Medial, I'm not even going to try to reread it. Medial caesare. I guess caesare is caesura plural. Caesurae. Medial caesare are usually, sounds like a beautiful name. Hey caesare. Caesura. Could name my daughter Caesura. But it means to cut. Take a pause. Take a breath. Maybe that's a good thing. It's beautiful. Caesura. Caesurae. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Medial caesurae are usually less idiosyncratic. Oh God. Idiosyncratic. They neatly aid stylistic contextual counterpoint, and in the absence of strict meter can help define rhythm. They are an ever-present feature in Anglo-Saxon verse. See page 167. Here in Thomas Nash's 1587 poem, Spring the Sweet Spring, medial caesurae rhythmical, in catalytic dactylic tetrameter, close dot, open dot, in parentheses, dum diddy times 4. Spring, the sweet spring, is the year's pleasant king. The blossoms each thing, the maids dance in a ring. And I was putting pauses in there, putting caesures in there. There's a caesura symbol. It's a backwards P with a line after it. And the two lines are connected at the top. In Alexander Pope's 1731 moral essay, Caesar Arguments Antithis, Medial Caesura Rhetorical, in Essential, chaste to her husband, frank to all beside, a teeming mistress, but a burdened bride. We're one more page closer to being done. Poetry, poetry. Stop or enjambe. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not going to be playing any games until I get this headache of a book done. I gotta get my life together and develop myself and my skills a lot more to be where I want to be and be happy with myself, because I've been slacking off a lot lately. In a single line of verse, let me reread. Stop or enjambe, E-N-J-A-M-B, at the end of the line. In a single line of a verse, end stopping, there's a dot with a circle around it, marks the end of a complete phrase. This usually coincides with suitable punctuation, though sometimes the sense of the words alone dictates the pause. End stopping is a principal element of rhythm, sense, and form in most English poetry. Here are 4 end-stopped lines from Elizabeth Browning's A Musical Instrument, 1854. End stopping, the dactylic trimeter, close dot, open dot, dumb ditty times 4. What was he doing, the great god Pan? Down in the reeds by the river, spreading ruin and scattering ban, splashing and paddling with hoofs of a goat. When the lines run on to the next and the reader feels little compulsion to pause, it is said to be enjambed. From the French enjamber, to stride. Enjamber sounds a lot more beautiful than enjambed. Why can't we have just stolen enjamber? To stride. That's what enjamber means. Here are 2 enjambed lines from Maya Angelou's 1928 through 2014 poem Rise. Enjambment. E-N-J-A-M-B-M-E-N-T. Enjambment. An anapestic quartus paeonic dimeter. Open dot, in parentheses, open dot, close dot, in parentheses, diddy dum times 2. Jesus. Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Here are both devices in a verse from Andrew Marvell's The Mower to the Glowworms, published in 1781. This definitely gives me a lot more respect for poetry. Knowing the science behind it, if you're trying to go for a certain style and you have to find words to fit that style, it's a lot more impressive than just putting a bunch of random strings of words together and calling it a poem. End stopping enjambment. In iambic tetrameter, d dum times 4. Ye country comets that portend. Comets? C-O-M-E-T-S. Ye country comets that portend. Not pretend, portend. P-O-R-T-E-N-D. No war, no prince's funeral, shining unto no higher end than to presage the grass fall. Oh, one more page closer. What are we at? We're at an hour. I'll go these last 2 pages here because they're all for one topic, and that is substitution. Changing feet. A poetic line which ends with an unstressed syllable is said to have a feminine ending, whereas one with a final stressed syllable is masculine. To aid lineation. Lineation. That's an interesting way to say it. To aid lineation, the flow of lines. That's beautiful. Well, lineation. It's probably lineation. The flow of lines. An iambic or anapestic line will occasionally end with an extra unstressed syllable. For example, this extract from Shakespeare Hamlet, published in 1603, although written in iambic pentameter, 5 iambic feet, 10 syllables per line, contains hypermetrical lines of 11 syllables. Adding feminine endings to iambic pentameter, open dot, close dot, in parentheses, d dum times 5. Thus conscious does make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sick lied o'er, O-E-R, o'er, is sick lied o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pith and moment. Jeez. Note that the longer lines still consist of 5 feet, and that the addition of the unstressed syllable to the final foot changes it from an iamb into an amphibark. Bark. We're just going to go with amphibark. Deeper scansion, deeper scansion, S-C-A-N-S-I-O-N, deeper scansion of the above. Another beautiful names. Yo, scansion, get over here. Deeper scansion of the above also reveals that this is not the only change in foot type. For example, a pyrrhic foot, see page 123, with the appears in the 3rd line and a spondiac great pith in the 4th. This substitution of one foot for another is a commonly used technique in metrical verse. A poet exchanges the expected foot for a different one, even of a different length. The swap is often found at the beginning of lines, but can occur anywhere, any number of times. Here is a Hamlet again. Substitution in iambic pentameter, open dot, close dot, in parentheses, d dum times 5. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. That was a beautiful one. Wow. The first line was a 4th foot trochee. The second line was a 1st foot trochee, and the 3rd line was a no subs, whatever that means. The next poem, or if this is the same poem, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing end them, to die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end. The heartache and the thou sand natural shocks that flesh is heir to, 'tis a common summation. S-U-M-M-A-T-I-O-N, summation. Damn. Sometimes it can make sense metrically and dialectically to substitute the first foot of a line. For example, in the above extract, the opening trochaic, whether facing page, naturally follows a feminine ending. Substitution is also often used expressively to signal a rhetorical shift, as in Hamlet's forceful opening spondi, no more, above is in parentheses, no more, and then above. Below, Emily Dickinson emphasizes the opening word of her 1891 poem, Hope is the thing with feathers with torchy. You could say this poem is emphatic. Oh, we're almost done, folks. Initial substitution, the iambic trimeter, open dot, close dot, in parentheses, d-dum times 3. Hope is the thing with feathers that perch in the soul. And here, Robert Frost, 1874 through 1963, uses some trisyllabic, Jesus Christ. Trisyllabic substitution, the substitution of a binary for a ternary foot, e.g. an anapest and an anapest for an iamb. In his 1916 poem, The Road Not Taken. I've heard of that before. Trisyllabic substitution in iambic tetrameter, open dot, close dot, in parentheses, d-dum times 4. 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down one as far as I could. Thus, with an ear for how language is spoken, metrical variation is part of poetic meter. It is used expressively, expanding and reinforcing meaning, and helping to naturalize a poem's rhythm. Ballads and nursery rhymes tend to vary less, as their meters are reinforced by musical rhythm over leaf. Holy smokes, we are going to pick up later with more complex rhythms, as if that wasn't complex enough. Kill me now. Just kidding, I love life. Holy smokes, that was intense. Oh, I don't know if I have it in me to do another hour of this later today. My throat, my voice. We'll see. Wish me luck. I'm gonna drink a lot of water, maybe get some tea with honey. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting, sitting and hanging out. I am wishing you guys nothing but the best. Nothing but peace, love, joy, health, wealth, friends, family, harmony, prosperity, all the good things in life I didn't mention and more. Hope you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. If you remember anything I just said, remember. You gorgeous.
That's our family. You plus me with a barbecue in the backyard. Bunch of crazy kids that's running around. And that's our family. You plus me. 3 puppies. That's a barbecue in the backyard. I'm a cowboy, living like a rock star. Girl, come sit by the campfire. A moment with you is what I desire. I'd be lying if I say I didn't want to start a family too. A million miles from where I want to be, but I'm still trying to start a family. Trying to change the world with you. The truth is, I wish I was a better man. Wish I never heard again. Wanna be a cowboy free. Barbecue in the backyard. Bunch of crazy kids that's running around. I'm a cowboy living like a rock star. I've been really low, almost made it to the top, but I came up short. But I'll never give up, no, I'm gonna go far. I do it for the ones that never made it at all. I've been really high, I've been really low, almost made it to the top, but I came up short. But I'll never give up, no, I'm gonna go far. I do it for the ones that never made it at all. That's our family. You plus me with a barbecue in the backyard. Bunch of crazy kids that's running around. And that's our family. You plus me. 3 puppies. That's a barbecue in the backyard. I'm a cowboy, living like a rock star. Girl, come sit by the campfire. A moment with you is what I desire. I'd be lying if I say I didn't want to start a family too. A million miles from